and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Outdoors People with me, C.W. Getz, and her, Maya Marzaki. Good evening. It's Wednesday, July 26, 2023. We've got a blistering 92 degree Fahrenheit. I actually think it was warmer than that, but that's what Siri told me, so I'm going with it. What is my computer? It doesn't say anything. 92 degree Fahrenheit. Let's try that again. Fahrenheit, 33 degrees Celsius. What do you have down there in São Paulo, Brazil, Maya?
Whoa, it is warm in there, hey?
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I had my bikini on all day. I just had to change for the show, but yeah, it is very hot. It really is.
Oh, that's nice. You too.
Can you picture that? Thank you. Yeah. The neighbors love me. Yeah. What do you got down there in Brazil? In
Brazil, it is a lovely and warm day of winter with 24 degrees Celsius. And for you guys, the United States, 74 degrees Fahrenheit.
You know, if you brought that up here, you would be everyone's hero right now. I mean that. If you could bring 74 degrees here to the Midwest, everywhere, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Our guest is down there tonight, is in Florida. In fact, our producer as well is in Florida. Yeah. They've got a little weather. They've got a little hot weather going on. We'll check in with him on that when we get him on. Very entertaining guest tonight, people. You're going to really love this guy. The true rock star. What do you call definition of a rock star? Hey, Maya, you did something really interesting first this weekend. You did it like this epic climb. Tell us about that real quick.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can stay the whole night talking about that, but I will try to make it easier.
Yeah. Give us the highlight.
Yeah. So we call Dedo de Deus, and it means God's finger. Wow. It's a really high mountain, really like complicated, 6 hours of hiking out the way up, and then more like 5 hours climbing, a really complicated climb. So I was exhausted at the end of the day, but I was really happy. We started 4 a.m. at the morning, and then we ended 9 p.m. So that's crazy.
It's a full day. I mean, that's a full day, and good for you. Congratulations. Yeah. I know that was a pretty big achievement. Yeah. That's really awesome. But well, excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us, by the way. Well, tonight's episode of Outdoors People is brought to you by Rutabaga Paddle Sports, providing time on the water.
By Campground Views, making camping easier.
By Duluth Pack, made in the USA since 1882.
And by Jackson Kayak, pursuing joy through paddle sports.
Tonight's episode is So You Want to Be a Podcast Star with our special guest, Dean Piper. Dean K. Piper, a.k.a. the Pipeman, is an influencer, international radio personality, master marketer, publicist, promoter, published author, and public speaker. Pipeman is iHeart Talent's #2 ranked podcaster on Apple and was recently invited as a celebrity talent on Cameo. Pipeman has been featured in news, on radio, and also in numerous newspapers, magazines, and broadcast television. Pipeman is the owner and founder of Talk4 Media and Pipeman Productions, globally recognized as a top-ranked, full-service, eco-friendly multimedia network and marketing firm. Talk4 Media produces broadcasts and distributes live radio, streaming TV, and podcasts through its network of radio and TV stations and podcast platforms. Talk4 Media also maintains a strategic media partnership with iHeart Radio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible, as well as with multiple festival and event promoters. What's more, the radio stations owned and operated by Talk4 Media have been ranked #1, #2, and #3 for multiple topics. And with that, welcome to the show, Mr. Pipeman.
CW and Maya, how are you?
There he is. I feel like Ed McMahon there for a second, and
You're
here he is.
You're kind of looking like him these days.
I am. I've noticed that. It's like I think I just maybe need a new mirror. You think that'll take care of it, or
I don't know, but it's funny you should mention that because I just got a call like 2 days ago from Publishers Clearinghouse.
Did you really? Did you win anything, or just a call?
They just called to tell me I lost.
Oh wow! Well, at least they
That's
called.
what
They
called. Yeah, we didn't knock on your door because you lost.
Yeah, with the big, what is that? The billboard check or whatever they bring to your door. Does Ed did he really deliver those checks, or was that just it was just for television, right?
That they could have been just in a studio, I mean, I don't know.
If you get this giant check, it's like what, 6 foot long or something. Like, how do you cash that either?
Well, you did when you go to these like award things where you win money, like a beauty contest or something like that. They do the same thing. That's the advertising moment.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's not the real check. I wouldn't think.
No, that's the promo, so people can read all the zeros on the check.
I mean, try to fit that through that little tube at the drive-through, right? Yeah, not happening, man. So cut it up.
So I just have to say, CW,
sure.
How I just want to know how you're the rock star, because how did you get somebody so? How did you get somebody so gorgeous as Maya to be your co-host? Because frankly, she's the only reason I watch the show. Okay.
At least there is a reason, right?
I pay her ridiculous amounts of money, and and
I also watch the show because of Rutabaga Paddle Sports, because they're a cool place.
Oh yeah. Did you before we get into this, Maya? And I'm sorry, we don't mean to steal your thunder here. Did you ever get a kayak? And we talked about kayaks several times. Did you ever get one? That's your turn. Yeah, you.
Yeah, not me for sure.
Oh, I thought you said
no.
Maya.
That's you. I said you and I have talked about
I've
kayaks.
had a kayak for years. I got that thing and I sent it to you because it was rather funny that for $150.
Oh no, that one. I remember that one. I was thinking before that.
I have an ocean kayak. I take it out sometimes and I just go way far out that I hope a storm doesn't come in because I ain't coming back.
You do all kinds of paddle sports. You got surfboards and kayaks and all kinds of. That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's impressive. Really impressive. All right,
Maya, in this room we're in right now, there are 3 paddle boards, a kayak, 2 surfboards, a bodyboard, and a skimboard.
Doesn't look like you're in your. That's impressive, but it doesn't look like you're in your room. It looks like you're out at the wharf right now.
I know, right? The wharf is my room. I'm homeless. How do you think I store all these water things? Like,
under the pier. At least they're undercover, man. Yeah,
it's there. I lie down on the surfboard to sleep. If I want more comfort, it's in the kayak. Because I can get.
But since it's the blow up kind, it's probably comfortable.
It's not blow up.
They're the SUP. Yes,
I do have one. Well, I have one blow up, one that's resin.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about kayak still, or what are we talking about?
Yes, I'm a little bit confused right now. I don't know if it is an English problem,
I thought we were talking kayaks.
No comprendo English.
I'm sorry, Dean. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You go right ahead. You got a kayak.
¿Qué es tu pregunta?
Yeah. Now we speak in your language because I don't know that.
Yeah, so you speak Portuguese.
Look at him, multilingual.
Espanhol. Hello. Obrigado.
Yes, it is Portuguese. Obrigado, it is Portuguese. Yes. And by the way, you owe me a visit here in Brazil because we talked it over the phone, right?
That's right.
And I'm here waiting for like 6 months already.
In the rain, too, right?
I am coming.
Waiting in the rain.
I was in Bali. And that's when I was going to come to you after Bali. And then what happened was I saw some news of it wasn't really a good time to go. So I'm maybe I should wait.
Yeah, right.
It is never a good time to come, but also it is always a good time. So don't bother. Just come anytime.
I'm definitely coming, though. Absolutely.
Maya knows all the good
I'm saying it here on the air, so it's being recorded. If I lie, you can come after me, but you might want to come to my island over here, too, because I'm surrounded by water.
Yeah, sounds
literally.
like a plan,
West Palm Beach is a
actually.
nice place. I mean, Juan's from there too, right? Both you guys. You're not like
but
roommates or anything, are you?
I live on Singer Island, which is this little barrier island. In fact, the reef in my
Oh.
backyard is second only to the barrier reef in Australia.
Wow.
I kid you not. When
Whoa.
I was driving home from an appointment earlier, I saw like hundreds of people out there, you know, snorkeling and checking everything out. Because there's one area where it's like just like roped off, and it's always like tons of people snorkeling.
Well, see, when you people are cooking your asses off right there down there now.
Well,
This is why we
that's
don't
every
feel that
day.
bad for you,
That's
because you
every
got it
day.
made the rest
Come
of the
on,
year.
that's every day. Are you kidding me? I mean, listen, okay.
Not in the wintertime.
we
You
have
don't get 100 in the wintertime.
we
do you?
have two seasons,
sure.
hot and hotter,
No.
and it rarely gets to 100, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
But it's always 100% humidity. So it literally the other day
Yeah.
I was listening to the weather, and they're like, it's 94 degrees, but it feels like it's 114. I'm like, thank you
Wow.
for that. I didn't need to know that.
Wow, really?
I know
That's
what
not
you
good.
mean. I feel the same in here. So
Yeah.
you are
Right?
going to feel home at here.
Exactly. That's why,
Yeah.
okay, I love Costa Rica. I love Bali because I do feel at home. I go to these places and everybody's like, holy crap, is it hot? I'm like, is
You're
it?
used to it. Yeah. No, that's cool. No big climate change for you, man. That's good. Climate.
Well, there could be during the show because, like, many times, okay, so I have lost in the past 3 months 3 chairs off of my balcony.
And how?
Yeah. Well, because I go out to dinner. There's one of
Drinking?
these Florida storms. No, there's one of these Florida storms. and then I come back and I go out on the balcony to hang out because
Really?
there's no storm anymore. I'm like, where's this chair?
And your furniture on the
And then it turns out, like, I went outside in a tropical storm, I kid you not, to find my
No
chair.
way.
It was on, it
Wow.
went over the building onto the other side. Like seriously, it flew.
Now, when
I
that happens,
No way.
when that happens, are you liable for damages to anyone or anything that when your
I'm
furniture?
sure I am. I'm sure
Jeez.
I am. That's why I don't claim ownership to the chair.
Yeah, you got to nail those down or something, or what? How do you?
You have to bring them in. You know how many times I bring my furniture in the house?
That would get old.
Because
That would
like
get
we
old.
have storms every single day, and it could be like for 5 minutes and do devastation. And the intercoastal, which is right in the front yard over here, okay, when we have those storms, the intercoastal comes up onto the road because that's all that separates me from the intercoastal is the road, and
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
right.
comes over the road, you know, and then I go play with my pet alligators.
Well, you know what though? All in all, you really don't have it that bad down there because I see the pictures and I hear, yeah, you got it made.
Well,
let's ask
listen.
Mr. Pipeman some serious questions and let's get him
Before
rolling
you
on-
do that,
on
I have one
tonight's
more
topic.
thing to say.
Okay.
Before you do that,
Go for
I have one
it.
more thing to say. It sure doesn't beat Arlington, though.
Oh well, yeah, you've never been here, and if you do, trust me, you'll come once and you'll go, yeah, I've seen that, been there, done that. And
CW,
don't
Bye
blink.
bye now. Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, Maya's seen it.
CW.
Maya's been here.
do you wonder why I haven't come to visit you? I've been to where you are long ago, and that's exactly what I said.
Daily, I think of this. I wonder why Dean has never shown up, man.
Because I got there, and I'm like, this Yankee Italian Jew
Yeah.
does not belong.
You know, it's quite a place to be experienced. I would say that, and then you can say,
Yeah.
well, now I have done it all. So
Well, there you go.
All right.
So let's get to
Good
the
deal.
serious shit, Ray. Why
Yeah,
are you
let's do
wasting
that.
my time?
Oh my gosh.
let's
yeah.
learn something tonight. Let's see if we can learn something, kids.
I'm a little bit lost right now because I supposed to ask you about podcasts, but I don't know if it's the right topic anymore. But let's try it. So first thing first, what does the term podcast actually mean?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked that question because seriously though, because everybody throws around this word like it's something special, and all a podcast is a recording. There's nothing fancy about it. It's a recording, and that's not a bad thing, but they gave it this fancy name, podcast. I actually like it. I think whoever thought up the name podcast, they're brilliant because like that's what everybody says. Everywhere you go, you notice everywhere you go, oh, have you heard this podcast? Hey, have you listened to Outdoors People podcast? Oh my God. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. So this is the 64,000. I don't think you're old enough for this, Dean, but the $64,000 question.
I say that in my sales pitches.
And people go, what?
Yeah. I say that in my sales pitches all the time.
What does it really take? I mean, honestly, to have a successful, like a podcast, it's just going to go, bang through the roof. What does it take?
Talk for media.
Oh, there is a clever, quick answer, kids. Take notes. This is important stuff.
And that is true. But what's also true is, I mean, listen, I say that jokingly, but you do need something done professionally. Okay. Like even I look at UCW and you got the Orlex in the background, you're doing it the right way. Yeah, and I'm saying that because, there's a lot of talk about DIY and there's a lot of things on the internet where you can, here, buy my course, or here, watch my video, and listen, if you were doing brain surgery, okay, or if you needed brain surgery, would you rather have a brain surgeon or somebody that watched a YouTube video start scalping your head? You know what I mean, CW?
Sure, absolutely.
So the thing is that to me, that because sound quality is important, and the thing of just making it like a real engaging thing that people are going to have fun with. A podcast should be fun. And it's not fun if it's just some talking heads, okay? And that's number one. Number two, promote. I could say that for the whole show, okay? It's like, listen, I think you saw what happened today. I got tagged by you to be on this show here, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
And then next thing you know, I not only shared it on all my stories, but I also shared it on like 15 Facebook pages and Instagram and everywhere I could. Why? Because that's what you got to do. You got to put it out there. It doesn't just come to you. Okay. People think, oh, I'm going to pick up a mic and I'm going to talk and everybody's going to love me because that's the world we live in right now. You can,
that is true, right?
Listen, my daughter's boyfriend, God bless him. He's totally into Rubik's Cube. And in 1 month, he got 160,000 followers on TikTok solving a Rubik's Cube. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But here's the key. Okay, there's a reason I'm bringing this up. So you can have all these followers, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, he's not doing TikTok anymore. You know why?
Why?
Well, because that 160,000 followers didn't equate to anything.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
So just because you have the followers, but now if somebody was professionally producing him and advising and helping
and
to
promoting
make it more of what it was and helping to promote it and helping to make it something that gets beyond that, because you may have done something cool to get 160,000 followers, but now what are you going to follow that up with? It's kind of like, I'll talk your language and my language, CW. It's kind of like you come out with this, debut album that just kills it and goes to top of the charts. Well, that sophomore album, well, you got a tour ahead of you. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
You need to keep it going, right?
Yep.
And how does someone get started doing their own podcast?
Well, I have the same answer as before. You can call Talk for Media.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's funny, and we're going to do a break here in a second, but I'm going to mention this too. One of the things that I see with what you do is it validates you become basically established. When now you've got a radio station and TV station and podcast outlets behind you, and you've got a professionally produced show, as this show is,
by experts like Juan.
Yeah, I mean everything, and it's designed. You got people that know what they're doing. They're experienced doing this stuff for you. I mean, I think that, and honestly, this show, Juan, I think I mentioned that to you very recently. This show would not be anything close to what it is if it weren't for you. So, and I mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
And Dean, you do a fantastic job. I said, in fact, just earlier today, I said, Dean, we're going to change the album cover. We're going to change our promo photo because Maya and I had done some photo shoot when she was up here recently, and I don't have to worry about it. I know it's going to be done. You asked me some questions, and I said, well, here's what I like, but I mean, I have to trust you because you have great taste.
By the way, I didn't tell you yet, but I decided to crop you out of the picture to make it more appealing.
Yeah, and I told you I expected that. Nothing less than that. Don't blame you. I actually applaud you for that. But
and
yeah, so
before you go to commercial break, I do want to say something about Juan again as an example, because you've done this for many years, not just with us, but in terrestrial radio before, and you've been around the block, okay? And you said one day that he's the best engineer you've ever had. Now, for somebody like you that knows how to engineer, who could probably do it DIY, you choose to pick somebody like us to produce it for you because why?
Well, the first reason is this, and it's a practical reason. You divide your attention and your focus, now it's away from it's half on your guest. It's half in your, whatever you're reading here or whatever. And I do read stuff. I make no secret, there's no secret to that. But I actually believe that a guest or a show host owes it to his guest to be attentive and of course, polite, courteous, but attentive. And I can't do that if I'm half focused on something else. And secondly, not just anybody can just go bam, bam, bam. Juan is superb. In fact, I can't remember him ever making a mistake. I really can't. If he did, it got past.
Well, see, that's the point right there. If somebody does make a mistake, just like in music, and you don't know about it, they're doing their job.
It's the carpenter's deal, I mean, you cover your mistakes if you're a carpenter and nobody knows you made it. So that's right. And and honestly, wonderful personality. I really can't say enough about Juan. So there you go. A little something extra in your stocking this Christmas, Juan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, usually CW and I makes mistakes, and then Juan covers us open. So.
Yeah, daily on my end, I can tell you.
Yeah, we fail once, never, and help us out.
Yeah, for sure.
So we are going to a little break, but don't go away. We will be back with more of Outdoors People right after these messages.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "Well, we don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutabaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sites, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
Duluth Pack is handcrafted for every lifestyle, making memories since 1882. In store at 365 Canal Park Drive or online at duluthpack.com.
We're one big family, a community of paddlers, and we want to make sure that everyone has a great time out on the water.
We are made right here in Sparta, Tennessee, USA.
This is where every Jackson kayak is born, built by hand with a focus on innovation.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We are
Jackson Kayak.
We're Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
And we are back with the Pipeman right here on Outdoors People. Maya, go ahead and take that away. Next question.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit, but just a little bit more about your own show, Pipeman Radio, which airs at 8 a.m. Eastern in U.S. 7 days a week?
Absolutely. And first, I want to answer that last question. Just say, if anybody wants any information further outside this show, they can go to talk4media.com, request info, or they can just call me at 561-506-4031.
Why don't you give that number again? That was a little fast. Do that again. 561.
Yeah, I didn't want it to sound radio-y. So, otherwise, I would have done the radio voice and said, call 561-506-4031. Yes,
that's what we're looking for right there.
506-4031.
At least you didn't
call
say BR
now.
You didn't say BR 549. That's good. You remember that?
How about, and you, if you want Jenny, just call 867-5309.
Do you remember BR 549? Do you remember that?
It's not ringing a bell.
See, you're just not old enough. Hee Haw. Remember Junior?
Oh yeah, I remember watching Hee Haw.
Okay, he does remember. Yeah. BR 549. Call it.
Yeah. And I watched Hee Haw, and I was like this Yankee that was like, what is wrong with these people?
Well, we don't have time for that. That's another show, but yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Pipeman. Okay,
yes.
So the general whole universe of my radio show / podcast is Pipeman Radio, and that's how you can find me everywhere. That's my any socials, and just look for Pipeman Radio, Pipeman Radio. But so under that, I have a few shows. My live show is The Adventures of Pipeman, and that's so true because, listen, I've done that show live driving down the road in Texas. It was so funny because I was on E. And if anybody knows about driving through Texas, you can go like a couple hundred miles before you see anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I was driving through, and literally I was in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing. And I was just saying on the radio, like, okay, I'm going to stay live on the air just in case, because I don't think the Pipeman's going to make it to the gas station.
Oh my gosh.
And I kind of like, I kid you not, I literally just finally got there, rolled into the gas station, and I was live on the air the whole time.
So you literally were just coasting without the car running.
Well, as soon as I got to it, was like, as soon as I got into the driveway, it was one of those things, and I just rolled it right up to the.
I had the same experience. That's creepy when it happens. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
it is.
It is for sure.
So
good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, and so there's been a lot of adventures in the years of the Pipeman, even before radio. Like, I had adventures from like 0 years old. The day I was born, I have adventures. And so the thing
you weren't having adventures in the womb, were you?
I sure hope not.
Like, wait a minute. He comes out. I love it.
I mean, because I don't know. I think that was hell, and I came to heaven by coming on earth. Because,
that's very philosophical. I like that.
Oh, see, there you go.
I love
it. You have your moments. I love it.
Yeah, see?
Deep. Very deep.
And so I've had other adventures, like, when my my dad's birthday was on the 24th. Okay. And he's not around, but I could tell you one story I would tell on the air that I would never tell in real life. That's the thing about my show. It's like this alter ego kicks in, and all those things are in your head that you would never say in real life. They just come through the mic.
Is that kind of, let me ask you, is that kind of therapy, sort of therapeutic for you though, in some way like that?
It's just funny, I think.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like you're almost your own therapist. But the microphone is your vehicle to get you. Do you think they?
Well, that is true as a motivational speaker, because I'm a motivational speaker, which is a different personality than you hear on the radio, and that is kind of therapeutic because that's where it started. Like I've always been a very private person, and then motivational speaking, I would tell stories that nobody in my world knew, and it's probably because of a couple reasons. One is like, you don't know the people you're telling it to, so it's all these strangers. So it's kind of easy to
doesn't really matter,
Secondly, because they're all relating to it, and so if you could use these things to help other people to get through their things, that's what makes it worthwhile. It's it's not worthwhile to sit there and just bitch and complain about stuff that's happened in your life, or go woe is me to your friends and family. But if you're telling an audience of people that has probably experienced a lot of things similar, because listen, as much crap as we have in our life, there's somebody that has more crap. Okay. That's the way I always look at it. There's somebody that has it worse, and I have been homeless, sleeping on park benches. I've been homeless twice, actually. And and the second time was shortly before starting this radio network, which is why that's relevant. So basically, the bottom line is life is a bunch of adventures, whether it's the good things, the bad things, I always looked at it as adventures. There were things when I became adult that family members were like, oh man, I can't believe you turned out the way you did with all you went through. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't even know it was bad till people told me it was bad. Like the time that my, and they'll never watch this, thank God, but when my brothers and my stepmother had my dad locked up, and he was roommates in the loony bin with Dennis Hopper, and my dad called me from the loony bin and gave me a plan to come break him out, which I did try to do. I was 16 years old, and I did try to do it, but I did not succeed.
Wow. Wow.
So there's a story probably that nobody has ever got on any show ever that you have gotten privileged.
I love that. I mean, I appreciate you doing the exclusive here. I mean, honestly, and that's a pretty good story. I honestly, that was an details you had to leave out there. Yeah.
Well, that was an adventure. Like, to this day, I still have like the theme to Mission Impossible in my head from that day, because I did feel like I was like in Mission Impossible, but from the TV Mission Impossible, the movies didn't come out yet.
Right.
Right.
But I love it how you look at life, because I do agree. I don't think that we are alive to be happy or look for happy, like people usually just say, like, oh, I'm looking for my happiness, like I want to be happy. I think life it is for be live it and experience, and go to do adventures and live your life, experience. So that's really nice, and that's nice that you share the real deal with us. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate
That's right. That's right. And the fact of the matter is, it is true. Like, I told my daughter years ago, she was in high school, and she was, she always wanted outside influences to make her happy. Oh, if I get this clothing, I'll be happy. Oh, if I get this, I'll be happy. And I always used to tell her, I'm like, happiness comes from within, not without. Because if you focus on the without and the outside, you'll never, ever, ever, ever be happy. So, it's all about your attitude towards things and how you look at things. And, like Zig Ziglar said, you're not going to have a more positive life by being negative.
Ooh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I didn't remember Zig Ziglar said that, but I really like that. That makes perfect sense.
I love it. Yes, all the answers are inside. It is not outside. So look inside of you, right? Well, we have some pictures and video.
Ooh.
Oh, yes, that's my favorite part. So, Juan.
Show it down.
Juan, I told you not to give them those pictures.
We paid him money for those. Come on. We got to play them now. I love
I'm
it.
docking his pay for listening to you.
There we
Juan,
go.
I hope you still hear of those pictures.
Yeah, right. This is you doing your thing, man, on the show, right?
That is me doing my thing right
I
there.
love it.
And there's the water.
I love it.
You look great.
I recently saw a
Your
picture.
hair.
Yeah, I saw a picture without your beard, and you look like a totally different person without that beard. I don't know if it's in the picture or video we've got. I think it's got here. Yeah,
it's in the video. I know it. I know where it is.
That's right.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
I always when I look at stuff like that, I'm like, man, I look weird without a beard. And I always
I don't think so.
Well, here's the thing too. Like when I was younger, I started growing facial hair because even at 30, people thought I was like 15 without facial hair. I used to get ID'd for cigarettes at 38 years old. At 38 years old, I got ID'd for cigarettes.
Someday you're going to be glad about that. You're going to say, thank God.
Oh, I'm absolutely glad about it. I'm 56 years old. I skateboard, I surf, I rollerblade, I ice skate. I travel the world, and like, listen, Bali was brutal with how much climbing and walking I had to do. Like to get to every surf spot, you had to climb down the mountain and climb back up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. So
I do think the beard makes you look like Ringo Starr, especially with the shades. I think there's a picture. We did that in the intro picture.
You know what I've gotten to, and especially if you look at like in my 30s and I had long hair, Dave Grohl, I get a lot. I was doing a festival that Foo Fighters were doing, and I was doing radio press for it. So I was going backstage, and security thought I was Dave Grohl.
I can see that. I love that. And you didn't correct them, did you?
No, I didn't. I thought it was funny.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the real rock star.
Now, there we go. This was last month in the UK at the 20th anniversary of the longest running, most popular rock festival in the world called Download Festival, which was originally Monsters of Rock. It's been around for 43 years, but it celebrated its 20th year anniversary as Download Festival. This dude here I'm interviewing, oh my God, coolest dude ever. You need to follow him. He's Mod Sun, MODSUN. You got to check out the interview I did with him that I'm doing right here. Go on to iHeart Radio or your favorite app. It doesn't matter. It's everywhere. Go on the Adventures of Pipeman or Pipeman in the Pit and find where I interview Mod Sun at Download Festival, because it was, first of all, it was one of the most entertaining interviews. But second of all, this dude he's it, man, because his whole thing is about motivation. And so that combines my two passions, motivation, positive thinking, empowerment with music.
Yeah.
I
like that. What a combination. I love
it. Because listen, I'm a metalhead. There's plenty of metal music that's, could probably be, if you looked at it a certain way, depressing or make you angry or whatever. Mm-hmm. Sure. It's motivating to me. Actually, here's a little fun fact about me. When I do speaking seminars, I literally play stuff real loud like Slayer or something like that to get pumped up to do a motivational speech.
Wow.
Yeah. So see, there you go. But this dude was cool as can be, and everybody's got to follow him because not only is he a great artist, but because of his attitude towards life. If you follow him on TikTok, he's got some cool TikToks. He's just like the most positive dude, and you got to do some research, listeners. Awesome. The listeners and viewers have to do some research.
Yeah. And what's his name again? Give you his name again.
That's what I was just going to say. Figure out what the acronym stands for. Mod Sun, MODSUN.
Mod Sun.
And it's an acronym.
We're gonna have to,
And I hope it's S-U-N and not S-O-N. And, like at 56, sometimes you mix those things up.
That's what I have on my screen.
So while Juan's sitting there, he can search on his phone and correct us if I was wrong.
That's what I got. M-O-D-S-U-N. He just sent it to me. Yeah. So I think looks correct. That's pretty cool.
Next picture.
No, we got a little mystery to solve now, kids.
This is one of my favorite pictures. Okay. So this is a festival I do every year, except this year I didn't do it because they weren't doing the interviews there. So that's what I do. This is Incarceration Festival.
Wow.
And the reason it's so great for me is, okay, so, listen, I go on tour and I do all these festivals. Like last year, because of COVID and making up for COVID, I was at a different festival every single weekend of 2022. And so my daughter said every festival she'll call me up and she'll be like, "Are you excited?" And I'm like, when you do it every weekend, I don't know if excited is the word. Okay. It's more like, do I love it? Is it great? And like at CW, you understand this, it's like when you were playing, were you excited for every show? Maybe you were pumped up because you were playing,
make it look
but
that way. You make it look
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is right before I called her from the first time I did this festival. And the reason that's so important is because I called her as soon as I got there and I'm like, now I'm excited. I'm calling you from the prison yard of Shawshank Prison.
Wow.
And that's what's behind me. That's Ohio State Reformatory, which, by the way, is haunted because they did some torturous stuff to prisoners in there. That is where Shawshank Redemption was filmed. And right behind what you can't see in the picture because it's a felony to have that picture is another prison because this prison is shut down because all the bad stuff that went down. But there's another working prison. It's kind of cool. It's like reminds me of Johnny Cash because while the festival is playing, these prisoners are out in the yard and they're getting a free festival. And I think that's cool as hell.
That is cool.
So it's pretty cool. You can do the tour, and then and then they also have in the basement. They have like it's a haunted thing called Blood Prison, but it really is haunted down there. But they do like the haunted house type thing there. But let me tell you what the Pipeman does.
Yeah,
the Pipeman goes in the prison, and he finds these like holes in the wall to hide. And scares the crap out of the people touring through the prison, like I am some ghost or something.
Why would I? Does that not surprise me? I love it.
And like one year, I had my photographer with me. I'm like, here. I gave her my phone. I'm like, here, take video of me doing this so we can put this on TikTok. Like, scaring the crap out of these people, And then there's pictures of me sitting on the toilet in the cell. I think it's like Red Cell or something, and I'm sitting on this toilet, and me lying on the rusty cot inside the cell because it's really bad shape in there. Like I'm sure it's not good. I'm not sure which is worse, the ghosts or whatever diseases are all over that prison.
It is a prison.
But yeah, great festival. And that pick me, that is totally my personality with my hands up in the air like that, doing that. It's like, look at me. The Pipeman is here.
I love that.
And by the way, one last thing before we get to my book here.
Yes.
That early in the morning, I was taking pictures of the prison, and there was this other dude taking pictures of prison. Well, it turns out he was one of the people in one of the bands playing at the show that I interviewed later.
Oh,
and he's like, "Hey, dude, can you take my picture of me, and I'll take a picture of you?" And he goes, "Look at us, we're fanboying over Shawshank Prison." So who said life doesn't come with an owner's manual?
Yeah,
I always heard that when I was a kid. I'm sure you did CW too, from like my grandparents. Life doesn't come with an owner's manual. So I'm like, screw that crap. Life does come with an owner's manual, just nobody wrote it yet. So here I am.
That's very cool that you did that, honestly.
Yeah.
I like that.
And so basically it's a self-help book that is almost all my beliefs. and how I lived my life and how I went from a horrific, it doesn't talk about it, I'm saying, but it's the coping skills that I used to go from a horrific childhood and living on the streets to becoming a huge success in multiple industries at this point.
Yeah.
And all having to do with mindset and attitude. And of course, actions you have to take, because as Tony Robbins says, you know, you have to take massive action. It's not just, you can't just show up to a seminar and expect somebody to pump you up and then the world's going to fall into your lap. Listen, here's the thing. You know, everybody looks at others and thinks it looks easy. It's never easy, no matter what level you're at. Okay. And you got to, you know, the people that are the most successful put the most into it. Okay. That's the bottom line. And, you know, I know we're getting close here too, but the good thing is you got the owner of the network on that can say, well, if we need to go a little longer.
I love that. You know, it's funny because that thought did cross my mind. I go, all right, we're out of time, kids. You know, that kind of thing.
I know, right? So, you know, basically it's an easy read too. That's why I did too. Because like, I'm one of those people, I've read every self-help book there is. But I'm not really a fan of reading. I read more than most anybody does, but not because I enjoy it. Because I really kind of don't, you know, like I'm not one of those people, oh, I want to sit with a good book. Like fiction books are not my thing. I am all about nonfiction. If it's something, and I'm a big believer, if you read a whole book, I don't care if it's 1,000-page book and you only got one thing out of it, it was worth it. Because that one thing can change your life. Okay. And that is the key point is we're living in a world right now where things are so negative and polarized and people are attacking and angry and this and that. And you know what? We need to just throw that all away. You know, all these people that are making us like this, they're all on the same team and they're not, it ain't my team. My team is we're all one united world. We're one race, the human race, and let us all be supporting each other, pumping each other up, and all have this attitude and mindset that anything we want out of this lifetime, we can have it and we can have it today. There's no reason to wait till next year, next 10 years. You might not be here. As somebody that had 2 heart attacks surfing and I still surf, I might not wake up tomorrow. So live life to the fullest today. And there's my book.
I do have to ask you this. How would you define, I mean, is your biggest success been something you've achieved in business, or is it something, maybe just give us in a small little, in a nutshell, what's been your biggest success, would you say?
The biggest success is I'm still here. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's not because of things that have happened to me or what have you. It's because my biggest success is my outlook on life. Because otherwise, I might not be here.
Because you could have given up.
Could have given up, or made things a lot worse. You know, we all have choices. That's a big thing with me. We all have choices. People think they don't have choices. Well, they may be crappy choices, but you still have a choice. It could be 2 crappy choices, but there's still a choice. And those roads that we pick to go down, well, we have to live with those roads, but we can always check off those roads and go somewhere else. My dad always said, make a decision. If it's wrong, change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's nice. My mom used to tell me that too. Anything is forever. You can change everything in any point.
Yep.
So wrong decision, okay, run away for that and do something else. Well, thank you for sharing. And where can people find you and contact Pipeman Radio, and also to get in touch with you about starting that old podcast?
Okay, so first of all, they can't really find me because I always check into places after I've left. And you never know where I am. Like,
it's great.
Even my kids sometimes will text me and they're like, "Dad, where in the world are you right now?" But
I love it. That's
Where's
so
Dad?
nice.
Where's Dad today?
Wait, you were just here yesterday. How are you there? But yeah,
Well,
so
yesterday was yesterday.
that's right. Listen, I'm the type, okay, I just did it recently. You know, let me make a longer layover so I can check out this town. So I was in the UK doing download, and on the way back, I made a 12-hour layover in Istanbul so I could just check out the city. So I went, got off the plane, checked out the city, came back and flew home. So like that's how I roll. But you can follow Pipeman Radio anywhere. Pipeman Radio, I'm on everything. I'm even on the social media sites that don't exist anymore. Like you can find me on MySpace. I can tell you, I didn't take it down. I think it's still automatically posting there or something.
That's
and
cool.
if you want to get information about starting your own podcast, radio show, TV show, I think the best bet is that we have a personal conversation. I know that sounds weird in 2023, but hey, but seriously, it's not. I don't believe in cookie cutter. I used to be on the other side of the fence. I was a host, so it's on the other side of the fence, and basically, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And you can call me at 561-506-4031, or you could go to talk4media.com and request information there on our contact page. We'll have a conversation. We'll customize something to fit your needs, and you too can be like the Pipe Man.
Well, before we close this show out, Dean, I just have to say, I really think this is just me. Now, consider, maybe it's because I'm an old dude, but I really think it's cool that people can call and talk to the owner.
A human being. Can you believe that?
A human being. And you get a phone number. A lot of places, there is no phone number. You can't even call these people. I know this from, believe me. You get a phone number and you get to talk to the man in charge, the boss.
That's right.
And that's pretty damn impressive. So, yeah. Well, Dean, listen, we want to thank you for being our guest here on Outdoors People this evening. Always a pleasure chatting with you, and it was a pleasure having you on the show this evening with us. So
I want to thank you even more, both of you, for honoring me with bringing me on your show, because like most people might not want me on their show. But listen, I am totally honored that you asked me to come on 100%.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I would just say, I would just throw a deliverance-ism at them, and they don't know nothing. If they wouldn't let you on the show.
It was maybe I should have had a script, because it was kind of hard to concentrate with you having a co-host like that there. I didn't even know you were on the show.
I love it. There you go, Maya. Backdoor compliment all over the place, right there.
Thank you.
We bring it right back to round circle in the beginning to complete it.
Yeah, it's a full circle. That's why you want to take me out of the screen when you are talking, and then you can see yourself and focus on the answers. That's why we do that.
Wait till he comes down to Brazil and you spend a few days with he's going to be a blast. You're going to love it.
I may never leave.
Yeah, right.
Probably, yes. Yeah. CW did not want to leave.
No, it was, I was ready to stay. Yeah, I'm coming back. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for your time. And I wish we had more time, but we don't. So thank you very much. And we'd also like to thank each of our sponsors for bringing you tonight's show. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, Campground Views, Duluth Pack, and Jackson Kayak.
Be sure to tune in for next week's episode, What's Going On in Canada, eh? With our special guest, Kevin Callan. Along with Maya Marzaki, this is CW Getz saying thanks for tuning in to Outdoors People. See you next week.
Ciao.